classification topic. Okay, so we'll look at the full topic, okay, of classification as part of paper 1 as well as paper 2. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so if you look at classification, okay, classification in definition, we can define it as it's the process, okay, it's the process of sorting and grouping living organisms, okay, will involve arranging organism, which involve arranging organism, okay, in hierarchy, naming organisms and development of the key. So we call this as classification, okay. So we got this as classification. Then we can also see the other parts, okay. So in the other parts, we have the importance of classification. What are some of the importance of classification of animals? So classification is important when it comes to helping in gaining better understanding of living organisms, which can be used to recognize an organism and name newly discovered ones. So if we look at classification, the reason why we classify animals is because we want to name the organisms, okay? So classification is useful when it comes to understanding. So we have to take note of understanding, okay, and then also we have to notice if you want to discover a new organism, okay. So we classify organisms. So the classification is important in these lines, okay, and then also we look at okay, we look at the okay, so we look at the dichotomous key. So in classification, we have a key, a special key which we call the dichotomous key. So a dichotomous key, it is a scientific tool used to identify and categorize different organisms or objects based on a series of choices that lead the user to a correct name or classification. So a dichotomous key basically has some series of choices that lead the user to come to a correct name of an organism. So we can have, let's say for example, there is a taxonomist, he wants to name an organism. So he is guided by the key. So the key guides the taxonomist to come to a right choice. Okay, so we can see what a key is made up of. So a key is made up of pair of statements. So those statements, we call them the read. Okay, so the read is the actual sequence of statements. Okay, I'll show you exactly from questions, and then we will look at some example questions from different papers, and then we will answer. All right, so let's try to see. Each lead deals with a particular visible or observable character. So there are some characteristics which an animal can have or an organism can have. So each lead deals with a particular visible, observable character. Okay, so they can ask you exact what the endings of the statements, what they mean. Okay, so we have the lead. So the lead are arranged in a sequence of choices. Okay, so this was of choices. Okay, from which the correct choice is made. So if we look at the lead is arranged in the sequence of choices. So there are many choices. I'll show you from the actual demonstration. Okay, from which the correct choice is made. Between the two statements, the user of the key arrives at the correct name of an organism. So you will be presented with something like a sequence. So from that sequence, you come on the actual name of an organism, looking at the actual features the organism is showing. Okay, so I'll show you in the question, okay? So the dichotomous key are numbered. In each case, the number found at the end of the lead statement, the user of the key, the next lead statement or pair of choices to be considered. So we have some at the right end. So in each case of the number found at the right end there. So the lead statement show the user the key, the next statement or pair of choices to be considered. Okay, so we have to know what the statements, the numbers at the end mean. So those are choices that have to be considered. So the examiner can ask you in this way, what do each number found at the right end mean? So those are a pair of choices, okay? Or what to read next, okay, in the statement. So we have to know that. I will show you from the questions. So we have the importance of the dichotomous key. Why is the dichotomous key important? Okay, so it is important. The key is used for quick and easy identification of any non-living or dead organism. That's one of the importance of the key. And then the second importance, okay, used in naming an organism. Placement and the classification. So if you want to name an organism, you use the dichotomous key. Okay. Placement and then also classification. Okay. So those are the importances of the key. Okay. And then also we have to take note of why is the key described as dichotomous. Okay. So the key is described as dichotomous. Okay. The key consists of choices that lead the user to a correct name of the given organism. That's why it's described as dichotomous. So it is taken in 2-2. Okay, they take it in 2-2, in which the read leads to the correct organism of to the correct name of an organism. So this is one of the reasons why they call it the dichotomous key. Okay, so we look at the other side. So on the other part, we can look at the examination paper. I want to show you exactly on how the examiner can ask you questions. Okay, so the question went on to state a simple key was constructed to identify an insect, a mammal, a reptile, and an arachnid as below. So this is the actual key. So we have a key. The first one is the mammal with the 4 legs. An animal with 4 legs, okay? Go to 2. Now, this particular 2 is the choices, if we can remember. Look at this. So if we look back, okay, if we look at the endings, so if you look at the endings, so each case the number found at the right end of the read statement show the user the key next read statement or pair of choices to be considered. So you are considering the choices. So that's what those numbers they mean here. Okay, so if you have a 2 there, what it mean? It means the choice that you have to make. So if you look at the animal with the 4 legs, which animal can have 4 legs? So there are animals that we are presented with. We have an insect, we have a mammal, and then we have a reptile, and then we have an arachnid. Okay, so the animal that can have 4 legs is a mammal. There are mammals like a dog. A dog can have 4 legs. Of course, the dog can go to 2. Okay, so this is the choice that you have made there. This animal can go to. Okay, and then we have second part. We are looking at the features. Okay, because the key looks at the features of an organism. So an animal with more than 4 legs. So an animal with more than 4 legs. What are those animals with more than 4 legs? We have an insect. An insect can have more than 4 legs, and then an arachnid can have more than 4 legs. So this animal can go to 3. Okay, so we have 3. Animal with the scales on the skin. Okay, so that animal is a reptile, because when you have an animal with the scales on the skin, that's a reptile. Okay, and then for animal with the fur on the skin, so that animal is a mammal. Okay, and then animal with the 6 legs. So if you can recall, an animal with the 6 legs, that's an insect. Okay, so if you look at an insect should have 6 legs. Okay, so and then we have animal with the more than 6 legs. So more than 6 legs, we can see an arachnid. An arachnid does more than 6 legs. Does the total of 8 legs. Okay, so let's now look at the questions. So we are given the question. The first question is A. What name is given to the system of putting organisms in groups or categories? So if we review back on classification, classification is a system of putting animals into categories or groups, okay? So we can say classification. So that system of putting animals into groups and categories, we call it classification. And then we look at B. B1, state the name of the special key shown above. So that special key, we call it the dichotomous key. Okay, so we have 2, suggest why the name was given to this biological key. So the name, if we review back, the name was given because of the key consists of choices, okay, that lead the user to a correct name of the given organism. So that's why it was given the name, okay. And then we have C1, Explain the use of the number at the end of the some statements in the key. So the numbers there, the number found at the right end of the read statement show the user of the key the next read statement or pair of choices to be considered. So that is one of the uses of those numbers at the end. Okay, and then here we have 2. In 2 there we can state why is the key why is the key in construction, or why is the key construction. This question, I think there are some errors, but we can say why is the key construction important in biology. So that's how it should be. Okay, so it was not properly typed, so there was the why is the construction of the key. So here it was to be the key. Okay, so you put E there. Okay, why is the key important in biology? So the key is important. Okay, the key is used for quick and easy identification of a known living or dead organism. Okay, so the key, we use it to identify an organism. Okay, so if you want to know what an organism is based on the features, you use the key, because the statements, they will give you the features. Okay, so that's why we use a key. And then using the key, identify the animals P and Q. So let's look at P and Q. Okay, so if we look at P there, if we look at this one, okay, if we look back, let's look back. So if we look at the animal with the 6 legs is P. P is the animal with the 6 legs. So what could be the animal with the 6 legs? So let's try to see. So the animal with the 6 legs is an insect. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 legs, okay? So that animal is said to be an insect. An insect has 6 legs, okay? And then Q, if we look back on Q, okay, an animal with more than 6 legs. So which animal has more than 6 legs? Let's try to see from here. The animal that has more than 6 legs, if we see, that is an arachnid. An arachnid has more than 6 legs. So we can have a spider. A spider can be an example. Okay, so we look at this other question, question 36. The dichotomous key used was the, okay, the dichotomous key below was used to classify organisms W, X, Y, and Z. This question was coming from 2017. Okay, that's where I took this question. Okay, so it came from 2017 like that. So now in here we have the key. Okay, so this is the dichotomous key. The dichotomous key below is used to classify an organisms X, Y, and Z. Now we have the first one, has a cell wall. Okay, so which organism can have a cell wall? So that organism can be a plant. Go to 2 then. Okay, so here is the actual choice that we have to make. Okay, and then it does not have a cell wall. We take it to 3. Okay, so these pair of choices are at the end there, okay, or a group of organisms. It is a placement where we are placing the organism to, okay, and then 2, cell wall is made of chitin. So the organism that have chitin in their bodies are arthropods. An arthropod is the one that has chitin in the body. Okay, its exoskeleton or cell wall is made up of the chitin material. So that is an arthropod. Okay, so we have to take note of. And then we have a cell wall made of cellulose. This one can be a bacteria. Bacteria can be made of cellulose. Okay, we can have it as one of it. And then that's organism X. And then we have 3, has a cell membrane. Okay, so cell membrane, we can have an animal cell. An animal cell can have a cell membrane, so organism Y. And then we can have has a protein coat, organism Z. So this is a virus. A virus is made up of a protein coat. Okay, so they can ask which organism is a virus. So the one that has a protein coat, looking at the features, okay, like we are discussing this topic, when you look at the feature of an organism, then that feature will tell you exactly what type of an animal it is. So this animal is a virus. So the organism which is a virus is Z. Okay, so our answer there is Z. right? And then we look at the other side, okay? We look at the hierarchy, and then also the sequence of classification. So we have a sequence of classification and then the hierarchy. So we start with the kingdom. So the kingdom is the largest unit, okay, of biology classification. So this is the largest. So we start with the kingdom, okay, and then we go to a phylum. So a phylum is the second level of classification which share the fundamental characteristics, okay. And then we have a class, is a taxonomical rank, okay, consisting of an organism of the same attributes. So when they say attributes, they mean cells, okay, and then what the body is made up of. So cells are attributes of the body of an organism. So the features of the body cells are the ones that we usually look at. And then also we have the order. So the order is made up of families, okay, that share the common features, okay. And then we have the genus. A genus is a group of similar or closely related species, okay. And then we have a species, a group of individual organisms that actually interbreed. So we have animals that can breed and then animals that can't breed. Like for example, when you get a cow, okay, and then you cross it with the, for example, a lion, it can't work, okay. The genetical constitution is different, or the chromosomes are different, the package is different, DNA is different. So what you have in the end, there will be nothing to say. Nothing will happen when those animals they are closed, okay. So we have that. And then now we look at some questions. So they can ask you questions on the hierarchy system. So this is the one sample question that can be given. Or let me give out the sample question. Okay. So they can ask you in a question in this form. Okay, 2019 July. Which of the following is the smallest of and the most used taxon in classifying living organisms? So which one is the smallest taxon? So the smallest taxon which we can have, if we look back, we have the species. The species is the smallest taxon. Okay, so we have to take note of. And then we now come to the parts. Okay. So we have the species, the smallest taxon, okay? So let's move on to these other parts. So moving on, we can look at the actual classification. So let's look at how we can use the classification system to classify this organism. So we have the locust, okay? So the name is the locust, or sometimes here we have this type of a species of an organism. So this is how we start in classifying, even though some things were not there present, but I will just show you how to classify it. So we have the kingdom Animalia, and then phylum is an arthropod. If we look at an arthropod, they are made up of an exoskeleton. So this is an arthropod. And then class Insecta, and then order Arthropetra. Okay, so this is how you can classify. You looking at the classification system. Okay, and then we can have this other organism. The other organism that can be classified in the same form, we have the actual spider. Okay, so this is an arachnid. So if you look at the kingdom is Animalia, then phylum is Arthropoda, and then class is Arachnida, and then we have Alinea, okay, and then also we have family Stendiae, okay. So we have Stendiae, it's one of the actual family, and then we have the genus, okay, Fornitreria. So we have Fornitreria, that's one of the genus, okay. And then we look at the other parts, okay. So let's look at the other parts. So we now look at the kingdom systems, okay. So there are 5 kingdom systems which we have to know. So the kingdom system, we have animals, okay. We have Animalia, they call it Animalia. We have Plantae, then we have Fungi. We have this one, we call it Monera, even though it was written bacteria, but this is Monera, okay. And then we have Protista, okay. So this is the actual classification system, okay. So in animals we find birds, frogs, elephants, human beings, and so many others. Then plants we have these, and then fungi, okay, and then we have bacteria or monera, okay, we have these organisms, and then we have protista. Even in parasites are in here, right? So we have that. Then we can look at Okay, we can look at some parts, the kingdom Animalia, for example. So a kingdom Animalia, it is classified in several, okay, several phylums. So we have Arthropoda, we have Nematoda, Echinodemata, we have Annelida, we have Mollusca, Polyphera, and then also we have Chordata. So these are classification systems of Animalia. Okay, so these are phylums that are present. Right, so we can look at the actual phylum. So we have Lepteria. So Lepteria includes crocodiles, okay, crocodilia, they call it crocodilia, and then also we have crocodiles and alligators, okay. Some they are extinct. If we can look at extinct reptiles like dinosaurs of different periods. So there were some periods that were there present in old times. We had the Jurassic, we had the Triassic, okay, we had the Devonian periods. Those were some of the periods that were there present back in the old times. So now, out of weathering and changes in climate, those animals came to an extinction. So they are no longer in existence. So the existing ones, they resemble, and then their features, they are somehow alike onto the actual ancient dinosaurs. Okay, so we can see the animals. So if we look at the Lepteria, so if we can look at the reptiles, Lepteria basically as a group of animals, we can state they have scaly skin that is waterproof. They have bony skeleton. They reproduce through internal fertilization. So those are reptiles, okay? Yes, and then also we can look at them in this form. So these are reptiles. So we can have this. Okay, we have lizards, and then also we have the turtles, okay, and then also alligators and so many others, okay, and then chameleons and so forth. So these are examples of lepteria, okay. And then also on the other side we have the fish, okay. So we have the Pisces, and I didn't just put up the term, okay. So we have kingdom, okay, kingdom. Okay, so you just pardon enlighten. Okay, kingdom. Let me try to wrap this. Okay, so let me just state. Okay, so we have kingdom. We have fire and Pisces. Okay, so we have Pisces also, or sometimes said to be the fish. So if you look at the fish, mostly the fish, these are found in marine water. Okay, fresh water, blackish water. Okay, they have bony endoskeleton. Okay, the gills are covered with the operculum. So the air bladders, okay, are present in most of them. So the fish basically they are one of the organisms, okay. So we have them, and then we can look at the other sides. So we now look at the arthropods, okay. So if we look at Arthropoda, so arthropods basically arthropods are the biggest group of invertebrates. Okay, so all arthropods have an external exoskeleton that protects their bodies. Okay, so they have many legs. So the legs depend on the type of an organism. So if we see from here, the type of skeleton they are made up of, the skeleton is made up of chitin material. That's what it's made up of. So if we look at arthropods, we have insects. Okay, so insects, they have 6 legs. Okay, and then they have an exoskeleton, and then their body is divided into 3 parts. We have the thorax, we have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And then they have 2 antennas. Okay, they have wings. Okay, so examples, we have wasps, we have ants, we have butterfly, we have bees, and so forth. So if we look at the actual insect body, it's made up of antennas. We have the head, the thorax, the abdomen, the wings, mouth parts, and then also the legs. And then there are also other parts like the spiracles. So I didn't just label, we have also spiracles. And then we have arachnids. So arachnids, they are made up of 8 legs. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yes, and then the other ones, they have the pedipalps. Okay, with these ones they are pedipalps. Okay, and then also we have the abdomen, and then they have the cephalothorax. So cephalothorax is one of the diffusing. It's the diffusement of the head and the body. So when these two are connected, they form up what we call the cephalothorax. Okay, Cephalothorax means joint, the joint head with the body, the abdomen. Okay, they are different. Here we have the thorax, and then here we have the head, and then their abdomen. So here this one, just as it has only the cephalothorax and then the abdomen. Okay, and then we have crustaceans. Crustaceans, they have 10 legs in total. Okay, and then they have exoskeleton. Okay, and then two body parts. They have also the cephalothorax and the abdomen. So they consist of the two pair of antennas. Okay, and then the examples are crabs and then clowns. Okay, and then we have myriapods. Myriapods have a lot of legs. Okay, they have an exoskeleton, they have two antennas, body has a lot of segments. So if you look at the body here of this animal, it has a lot of segments. The body is divided into main parts. You can't even notice, okay? And then so many legs which are there. And then it has a pair of antennas, okay, and so forth. Okay, so we can see from the actual classes, we can look at the class Chiropoda or sometimes centipedes, okay? Now, Chiropoda possesses many segments, okay? So, if we look at this one, there are two. We have Chiropoda. So, Chiropoda, most of the times, these are even poisonous to say, okay? Or venomous to say, venomous, they are venomous. So, the legs, one pair of legs per body segment, okay? And then one pair of antenna. So there are pairs of antennas on two sides, okay? Yes, and then also the pair of legs are modified into venomous, okay? So this animal is more venomous, okay? So we have the other class is said to be class Dipropoda. So these ones, they are said to be millipedes. Okay, so most of these, they are vegetarians to say. Okay, so for these ones, they are carnivorous. These ones are vegetarians. So they possess many body segments, two pair of legs per body segment. So these are two pairs of legs. If we look at the legs, they are more like in a pairs in forms, okay? And then they have pair of antennas, okay? And then also when frightened, they kill, okay? So that's an example. And then we move on to the other parts. So we have Arthropoda, okay? Arthropods. We have class Arachnida. So class Arachnida, we have spiders, scorpions, ticks, and mites. Okay, so here we have the actual spider, okay, and so forth, and then also mites, and then also there are those ones ticks, those ones which usually which are parasites of dogs, okay. So most of the times they are parasitic, to say parasitic. So they are parasitic. They usually stick on the dogs, the mites, or the ticks to say, okay. So in here we have a pair of Chiraceae. So Chiraceae is the mouth parts, these ones, okay. Some of them, they have Chiraceae, mostly like a scorpion. A scorpion has a Chiraceae, okay. So that one is used to grasp food, okay. And they have no pair of antennas, so they don't have a pair of antennas. So a scorpion can give birth to live birth exception cases, okay, exceptional cases. So if we see class insecta include bees, okay, or let me say beetles, birds, wasps, and then also moths, and then also we have flies, etc. So the insect possesses three body segments. So we have the head, thorax, and then the abdomen, and then it has 6 legs, okay. So and then also the pair of antennas, okay, one pair of antennas. So we have that, okay, and then we can look at the parts. Okay, we have class Crustacea. Okay, so we have crustaceans, we have crabs, shrimps, barnacles, spine lobster, okay, etc. So they have pair of antennas, and then the body is segmented in cephalothorax and abdomen, okay. So 5 legs are present. So mostly these, they are found in aquatic. Some they are found on land. So this is an example, okay. So these, they are in many classes, okay. So if we look at them, they have 10 legs in total, okay. And then now we can look at the question, okay. So this was a question from one sample examination paper. This was 2019 November or 2019 July. That's where the examiner asked this question. So question 35, which is the correct order of arthropods from those with most legs to those with few legs? Okay, so we have to look at the number of legs. So I want to show you Exactly. This one has many legs. Look at this one. So this particular organism has many legs. So this organism is a myriapod. It's a myriapod, okay? It has many legs. And then followed by the crustacean. The crustacean has 10 legs in total, okay? So this organism has many legs, 10 legs in total. And then now we can have a spider. A spider has 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 legs in total. Okay, and then the last one is the termite, or which is an insect. It has 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, this is the sequence. So we should have the myriapod having more legs, followed by the crustacean, followed by the arachnid, and then followed by an insect, the last one. So our answer there, which is D. Okay, and then we move on to this other question. Okay, the diagram below shows two organisms belonging to the phylum Arthropoda. So we have this one. I hope you can recall that this is a cockroach. Then this is a spider. Okay. So they went on to ask which classes do these organisms belong. So if you look at this one is organism X. So organism X, if we see it, it has the characteristic feature of 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So 6 legs in total. So this organism should belong to the class Insecta. So these answers aren't right. So we should have Insecta there. Then we come now to organism Y. So organism Y has 8 legs in total. If we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should belong to Arachnida. Okay? So our answer there, it is C. Alright, so let's try to move on. So we have kingdom Prokaryota. So kingdom Prokaryota, we have prokaryotes. Okay? So those organisms, they include they are unicellular. Okay? These are unicellular single-celled organisms. Okay? So they have no true nucleus, only naked cellular DNA. Okay? Nucleoid or bacterial chromosome. Okay? So they have no double membraned organelles, okay, but small 70s ribosomes are present, okay. So they reproduce asexually by binary fission. So if you look at bacteria, so we can have bacteria like, for example, pathogenic. Some members mostly are pathogenic. Like for example, Vibrochoria is pathogenic, and then also microbacteria is pathogenic. Tuberculosis is pathogenic. Okay, we have Streptococcus, okay, coccus, and so many others. Okay, so these mostly they are harmful to people. Okay, and then they have some effects. Okay, so the examples we can have this one. Okay, so this is an outlook, an out view of the bacteria. Okay, we can see the ribosomes there, the nucleoidal mesosome. Okay, and then also we have pillars, we have cell membrane, we have cell wall, we have the capsule. Okay, and then we have cytoplasm. Then we have flagella. Now they can ask you what's the function of the flagella. So a flagella is used for motility. Okay, motility and wagging, and then also swimming. Okay, or moving to say. So that's the usage of the flagellum. Okay, and then also on the other side we have this one. So this is a structure of the bacteria. So this is the bacteria as well. Okay, so it's just the same as this one. Right, so we can look at the other parts. Okay, so moving on, we have the kingdom fungi. Okay, so kingdom fungi, if we look at it, okay, so members of this kingdom have the following characteristics. Okay, so one, they are multicellular, but few of them, such as yeast, are unicellular. Okay, and then also if we see, they have well developed nuclei with the nuclear membranes around. Okay, and then also they have a cell wall made of chitin. Okay, and then also some members carry saprophytic nutrition, but some are parasitic. Okay, and then also most reproduced by spores. Okay, and then the examples can include the yeast, mushrooms, bread molds, and lichens. Okay, so this is an example of yeast. Okay, so you can see the example of yeast there, and then also we have an example of mushroom. Then we have an example of the actual bread mold. Sometimes we call it the actual rhizopus. Okay, so these are some of the examples. And then now we can move on to the other side. We have kingdom Plantae. So members of this kingdom have the following characteristics. So they are multicellular, and then they have a well-developed nucleus with a membrane around, So they contain chlorophyll in the chloroplast, hence they are photosynthetic. So we can say also they have cellulose cells, okay, cell walls, mostly produced from seeds. Okay, some reproduced from vegetative parts, okay, such as stems, roots, modified leaves, etc. So some examples, we have mosses, ferns, liverworts, okay, gymnosperms, conifers, and angiosperms. Okay, so we can see the examples. So we have bryophytes. So the examples of liverworts and these ones, the plants. So the other classes are bryophytes. So bryophytes are a group of land plants. Okay. So sometimes it's treated as a taxonomic division that contains three groups. Okay, we have non-vascular plants. These ones like the liverworts and so forth, they are non-vascular. Okay, and then also we have liverworts, hornworts, and then also we have mosses. Okay, so let's try to look at a liverwort. So we have hornworts. These are hornworts. Okay, I hope we have seen such. These are hornworts, and then also we have liverworts. Okay, and then also we have the ferns. Okay, and then also we have the mosses. Okay, so these are some of the bryophytes that are present. Then we can look at the other question, or we can look at the other part. So the other part, we have the algae. So when it comes to the algae, we can state any. Okay, so these are a large and diverse group of photosynthetic eukaryotes organism. So it includes the green and blue algae, green, blue, and brown algae. So those are some of the algae. So we can look at them. So this is green algae, okay, and then also we have green blue algae, okay. So we have that, and then we can answer the last question. So on the last part, we can state what type of plants are shown in the diagram below. So I'm taking this question from 2017, okay, or 2018. So if we see the type of plants, so if we look at this one, these are coniferous plants. And then this is the actual, we have a maize, okay, and then also we have, if we can recall back, we have ferns, and then also we have mosses. So if they ask you which one describes, so we have ferns. So which one can be a fern? So these ones are ferns, okay? And then the mosses, we have the mosses, and then the angiosperm, we can have this one as an angiosperm, and then the coniferous plant, which is this one. It produces some cones. So our answer there is C. Okay, so we come to an end, dear viewers. Please, thank you for watching. Then also consider subscribing to the channel for more videos, and call on this line for tuitions. Okay, and I've also a package of materials for you as viewers and also subscribers. Okay, so you just WhatsApp on this line, and then I will be able to send and then add you in the group. Thank you for watching.